Welcome back to the channel, Retro Freaks. A few weeks back, we showed off our new game room with our Game Room Tour 2024 as we had just kind of moved into this space at the end of 23 in the winter time. At that time, though, we were like, hey, we'll do a deep dive into the tech side of the room. And we've had a lot of people in the comment section, hey, how do you hook this up? How do you hook this up? How do you hook that up? That's what today is all about.
Today's video is going to be kind of nerdy, and it's going to be a lot of just here's how we do it. It's not going to be much about video games, more about the tech side of video games. And we have a lot of things hooked up into this room, so we're just going to jump into it because there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
First and foremost, as we jump into this thing, it's very important to know there are multiple ways to do things.
Yes.
This setup that we have is something that was kind of just a brainchild of trial and error. I didn't watch a lot of videos on stuff. I always was a kid who would figure out ways to hook my stereo up to this, that, or the other thing. I used to dub VHS tapes when I'd rent them. I'm very tech savvy. I've been hooking up an NES through a coaxial since I was like 3.5 years old. So this is how we did it. There could be better ways. This may be very enlightening for you, and maybe you get something out of it. That is the hope that we have in doing this video. So we're going to start off on the retro side of the room. Everything on the retro side from a console perspective is in chronological order of release date.
And we have everything hooked up with the best possible way that the console can natively do. We don't have any upscalers or retro tinks or any of that tinkering stuff. No, we're running consoles how they should be ran into the TVs that they were designed to be played on, because we like playing things natively. Nothing wrong if you like using all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's fine, but this is how we like to do it. So let's just jump on the left side, the composite side. So on the composite side, chronologically, we have the NES, the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis with our new Sega CD, the TurboGrafx 16, the Sega Saturn, the PlayStation 1, the Nintendo 64, and the Sega Dreamcast. That is all ran into one splitter box. We have an 8-channel split box, and then the out, because we run a YouTube channel, and we have to get screen cap and we stream and stuff, the out we have to split. So we split it to the TV, and then we have a drop cord, so when we need to get screen cap, we can plug it into our Elgato.
That's an eight-way switcher. This is our old 4-way switcher, so it's a very simple switch box. The back of it just has your AV ends, and it has one out. What Robert was talking about, splitting the signal. You need one of these Y cables. 2 female, 1 male. You need 3 of them. I have 3 of them.
You need one for every,
each one of those outs. Then you get a regular AV cord, coil that up, and that's what we have that we can pop out on the floor for screen capture. You get another AV cord, and that can go to your TV.
And so on the switch box, we ran a thing of black tape, and then we took silver Sharpie, and we labeled them. Because we have so many consoles in here, it's super easy. So if you walk into our game room and you've never been in here, you'll be able to go, oh, channel 4 is this. I just hit the button. So you're not trying to be like, oh, what channel is it? We made it super easy.
The splitting signal thing, I don't even know when I ever really thought of that, but it's nice because you don't have to split each one of these channels. You just split the out.
Yes, you could split everyone, but that would be tedious, and that would be so many cables. We found it best to just split the out because they're all running through. And when we split it, we don't notice quality dipping.
Yeah, there's not a degradation on the signal.
Unless we turn on or plug in our capture card.
Yep.
And then it drops a little bit, but it's still not noticeable.
Yep.
So that's super nice. If you were to split every individual console, that's when you'll probably notice a dip, because you're running so many signals through so many different wires and all that stuff. So to power all the consoles, let's jump into that real quick. We have attached to the wall 3-foot power strips that have 9 plugins on each, and they're spaced out so they fit the double wide plugs. Which is super nice, because retro consoles come with that giant brick. These are super nice because there's enough room to fit those and more. And those are super nice because they screw right into the wall, and when we're not in here, we can just turn them off, and there's no phantom power. There's no power being ran at all. It's just shut down. It's super nice.
Yeah, I think everybody's been in that boat, whether we were kids or whether modern times. You get a regular power strip and you go to hook up your Sega Genesis or your Super Nintendo or your NES, and the power brick, because of its size, inevitably, if it's one where the plugs run vertically, you're probably taking up 3 spots.
Unless you put it at the end, but then you can only fit 1.
Yeah, and then if it's the side-to-side ones, you're probably taking 2 spots.
Yeah, we discovered these a few years ago, and we've been using them ever since. They're phenomenal. I have one at my house. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 in the game room. They are fantastic. And then the cord running off of it is about 3 feet. So you just get it near your plug-in and bam, it's super easy.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of this stuff, we still have the link somewhere. So we're going to do our best to put everything in the description if this is something that you think would be beneficial to you in your game room. So then we'll kind of jump over. We just covered the AV stuff. The component stuff is very similar in nature. There's just 2 more cords when you deal with component versus AV cables. But all of our component consoles that we run are the PS2, the Xbox, the GameCube, and the Nintendo Wii.
Yes, so that's all we have hooked up. We have 5 of them, but we couldn't find a splitter box that was bigger than 3.
So we had to do some fancy footwork.
Yes, so because component has so many wires, so we bought 2 of those and we taped them together. So on one box, the channel out runs into the other box. So it's kind of confusing, but it makes sense. So if you want to play the 3 consoles on this box, you got to make sure you're on channel 1 on the top box.
Yep.
So, and then if there's another console, so then it's channel 2.
I think from what I have found, this is the biggest 3-channel, is the biggest you can get right now on the market. I do believe somebody said back in the day, like Pelican or somebody made something that was maybe a little bit larger. But in essence, with the way we have this set up, you could add 2 more component boxes, because you would have then a total of 4, and the 4th one being
a control panel.
A control panel for the other boxes,
which is so nice. So we have, again, on the top of that box, it's labeled. So we have box 1 and box 2. Then we know, okay, if we want to play box 2, we got to make sure we're on channel 1 of box 1. Yeah. And then we can pick those 3 games. It's kind of confusing, but when we set it up, it makes sense. And we even have room to add another console, which is super nice. So the component consoles are running to our top TV, which is a Sony Trinitron KV36FV300.
Yep, and it's a big bastard.
I don't know much about the numbers and all that stuff, but tech people out there you guys probably wanted to know what it was, so that's what we have. And it's a big boy. It's a giant guy. It sucks to move. Luckily, we're not moving it ever again. Hopefully,
it's so heavy.
It's so heavy.
Inches.
It's so heavy, and like the grates on the bottom, they rip your hand. But they're all running to this TV, and it looks amazing. And what's super nice about this TV is because it's not HD ready. This TV works perfect for light gun games.
Yep.
And we've talked about a ton of light gun games recently on the channel.
Back over on the AV side, we kind of didn't talk about that TV. All that stuff runs to our Zenith console TV.
Yes.
So it's pretty neat.
And this TV is beautiful, and it has a nice table that the 36-inch Sony can sit on top of it. We put a blanket there so we don't scratch the top wood, but it's probably still bearing weight.
Yeah, and the picture on that Zenith is like flawless. My good friend Lyle, his great grandmother, they had it from his mouth. He doesn't think they ever watched TV except for on Thanksgiving when the family was over and everyone would watch football. But aside from that, his grandparents always listened to the radio.
Damn,
so very low miles on this.
But we put a ton of miles on this, and it's playing NES, playing Genesis, playing Super Nintendo. It looks amazing on the bottom TV, and it's so nice having stacked TVs. That's what we had in our old game room. It's just super fun because sometimes we'll be playing a game on the top TV, and then we'll be able to watch something on the bottom TV, or vice versa. Because on top of all the consoles, we have a DVD VHS player wired in as well.
So we have that and that.
So it gets confusing.
So that the AV out is going to the top TV, the coaxial out is going to the bottom TV. So when it's on, it can be simultaneously cast to both. It's
really
TVs.
cool. So you can walk in and have it like a Best Buy or a Toys R Us or something, where you have the same thing on both TVs, and that's kind of fun. But usually we like to split the difference and play something and watch something because we have ADHD probably. It's just fun to have stuff on.
And so one of the inputs on the VCR is a cord that is going to a converter box that is going to a Fire Stick. So we can stream over here.
It is wild. We're streaming on a TV, but it's super nice. So then you can throw YouTube up on this thing, or we can throw Netflix on. It's really cool.
Yeah, and then we have a DVD/Blu Ray player as well running into another input of that VCR that all of these things can go to both TVs. And then we have an old JVC boombox in here that is wired to everything. So we can listen to CDs or the TV audio, whatever.
And it just makes the sound feel so much more fuller. I mean, both these TVs have really good sound. The Trinitron has amazing sound, but it is nice to have a separate audio for that, just because it just sounds better. There's more bass. And
these got subs on the side.
It's really nice, and we've been rocking this since we started the channel. So that's basically it on the retro side. It took us a long time to set this up when we first moved in, because there's 1, 2, 3. There's over 10 consoles hooked up to 2 TVs,
Yeah.
all ready to fire whenever you want. You can go over NES, power, boom, boom, and it's ready.
Yep.
Or Xbox, boom, it's ready. It's so nice. It just takes a while to set up.
Yeah, the one question we do get a lot, so that's how it's all set up. And now from the component boxes and from the AV boxes, we have those split drop
Yes.
cords. But we get questions a lot of what do you use to get screen capture? Because the most common Elgato out right now, I think it's the HD60.
Yep.
It's only HDMI in. We have the Elgato HD.
Yes.
It's a little bigger, but there's a dongle that has AV and component inputs, and that's what we run our drop cords into. It also has HDMI in so that we can carry it over to the modern side. Downfall for this one, which I don't really think it matters if you're streaming on YouTube, is I don't think you can capture or stream in 4K.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
That doesn't really matter to me. The versatility of this thing is what matters to me.
It sucks though because they don't make this model anymore, so you do have to get it like used on eBay.
Yeah.
We do have a backup that has a loose cord, but it still works if you get it fixed. So you might spend a little bit trying to get this, but it's super nice for what we do. If you're just playing modern consoles or just streaming modern consoles, get the new one.
Yeah.
It's going to look the best, and it's a lot sleeker and slimmer.
Yeah.
And we just use the Elgato program to capture it, and it's super nice. The program, I will say, is a little slow on the computer.
Yep.
I think because it's dated or whatever, but it still works, and that's how literally every game, all the gameplay that we show has ran through that since
Yep.
we started the channel,
Yeah.
which is a lot of games.
Yeah. Yeah, that dongle though, if you do buy one used, make sure that dongle is with it. I never see the dongle for sale by itself, so make sure you get that, and obviously we'll have B-roll in here so you know what you're looking
Yeah,
for.
it's super important.
But that is how we run and capture all of our screen capture and do all of our live streams on the retro side of the
Yes.
room. So we probably should discuss the modern side.
The modern side of the room. This is really cool because we actually, for the first time ever, have a 4K TV.
Yeah.
What is it? A Samsung 4K TV.
Yeah.
And this guy is beautiful. We have all of our HDMI ready consoles. So starting at PS3 and Xbox 360, going up to the Xbox Series and all the consoles in between. Plus, that's also where we have our HDMI modded consoles because they have the mod. So it's super nice.
Yeah.
And we have so many HDMI consoles that we had to get 2 HDMI splitters.
The top one has 8 channels. The bottom one has 9 channels.
Yes.
Both of them, though, can do the full spectrum. They can both do 4K.
Which is awesome. And because we had so many, we were like, how the heck are we going to do this? So luckily the TV has more than one HDMI input. So it's like, okay, this box is going to HDMI 1, let's say,
Yep.
and this box is going to HDMI 2. So we label that on the boxes. So it doesn't just say the console, it also says what channel it needs to go to. And for getting screen cap, for the out, we had to get an HDMI splitter on top of the boxes. So
Yeah.
we had to get a 1 male to 2 female HDMI splitter for both of those. So we have 2 drop cords on the modern side, and we have those labeled so it says top box, bottom box. So it got a little complicated over there, but HDMI is super easy.
Yeah.
And it's only 1 cord per console. It's not like component where it's like 5,
Yep.
you know? But it's just wild that we have so many. Because you're like, okay, what box is it?
Yeah, those HDMI splitters are fairly common for people that like having 2 screens. I know, like there are some like bar and grill places that use a lot of those. We're talking on the back end, so the
Yes.
out going into the one in, 2 out splitter.
Yeah.
So you can run dual screens. You know, sometimes there's a one in, 4 out splitter. So you know the bars that have the 4 screens that are
multiple,
synergized,
yeah, which is super nice.
So that's how both of those are. We've got the drop cords. A very important thing to note of these splitter boxes, at least one of them that we have, which is the oldest one that we have, it bypasses the anti-streaming or whatever the hell
Yes.
you want to call it, stuff that was on the PS3.
Which is super nice.
Because we've had people ping us during live streams like, how the hell do you guys stream the PS3? It wasn't until we got that question that I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I didn't realize that was a thing, but if you try streaming your PS3 just running it straight,
Yep.
there's like a blocking on it. So, but if you run it through a splitter, I think it's most splitters, but there might be some that don't allow
Yeah.
it. But most splitters bypass it because it kind of confuses it.
Yeah.
So then you're able to stream it and split the signal, which is super nice.
You're streaming what's running through the split box,
Yeah.
not what's coming direct
Yes.
from the console.
So you're
or
kind
something. I
of
don't know.
tricking the console. And then on the back side of the whole modern side, we got 2 more of those 9 plug-in power strip extenders, which is badass, and they're both right above each other, so that when we're not in this room, we can go click, click, power off,
Yep.
and that's everything over there. We got 2 CRTs stacked, we got the record player, we got the stereo, all that stuff is plugged in, so when we're not using it, boom, boom,
Yep.
everything's off. It is super freaking nice, and what I love about this room, and it takes a while to set up, but it's so turnkey. Everything is available when you need it immediately. It sucks when you have a game room and you're like, oh, I want to play this console, but I have to hook it up. We didn't want to have to deal with that at all. We just want to be like, oh, you want to play Super Nintendo? Let's play it. Oh, you want to play Xbox? Let's play it. You want to play PS4? Let's play it.
I'm pretty confident that anybody watching this video that knows their way around video game consoles could walk in here and within a couple minutes be playing a game and probably have another TV on something else and probably have something playing on the stereo.
Yeah.
I mean, our stereo just always has the auxiliary cords you can plug in your phone, your iPod, your whatever. Our stereo we're running is just a Pioneer head, kind of a hodgepodge. I used to have an Aiwa head that matched my Aiwa 5-disc changer, and that took a shit, so I bought the first one I found at a decent price at a pawn shop. But what really makes this game room thump is the Cerwin Vega speakers, just for this video, because I don't know if I've ever shown these to Robert. We're going to pop the covers off and show you guys a little B-roll. These speakers are hammer. I actually have the subwoofer for the set. We've been talking about bringing that down here. I don't know that we need to, because that thing will just make you...
Boy, and also, dude, sometimes we're cranking music and the thing pops because it's so loud.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know if the sub
it'll rattle shit.
Yeah. So, but it's so nice. And what's really cool is you custom built the modern side shelf so it fits above these speakers. That it just I love how clean and crisp everything is. It is just super nice. Yeah. But it took us like literally a full day of hooking things up, being like, okay, this is why out here label it. This is why out here labeled it, and then we had to, and then on top of that, testing it. You got to make sure everything works and stuff. But it is fantastic.
Yeah, I think you started the beginning of the video off too, really, really well when you were saying we don't have anything fancy as far as that stuff goes in here. Yeah. There's no misters in here. There's no retro tinks. I'm not shitting on that stuff. What I will say is, and I if someone would ever let me try one, I'll do it. I'll come to their house. I'll do whatever. I highly doubt there's no input lag on these things. I highly doubt it. Maybe there's not, and maybe everything's fine. I'll know when I go against Tyson.
Yep.
I'll know. But until then, I mean, I love our 4K TV. I don't care to play my NES on that.
I love playing NES on this Zenith console.
Yeah, because that's... And I honestly...
And it also feels... It's more nostalgic, too.
When Robert got here today, hey, we've got these chairs, we got freaking folding chairs. I'm 37-year-old guy sitting on my knees playing Terminator 2, the arcade game on the Genesis with the Menacer, shooting like this, just like I'm a little child. Kid. Yeah.
It's awesome. It feels like... That's what our game room is designed to feel like, oh, this is like kind of the 90s or the like old school.
Yep.
I mean, there are people that make modern game rooms, and those are badass too. But this is the stuff that we love, and we love nostalgia, and we love playing things on what it was designed to be played on. Just original hardware, everything. It's so perfect. It just looked like PS2 on that freaking top TV. Amazing. Yep. PS1 on the bottom TV. The PS1 doesn't look the best, but it looks amazing on that.
Anybody that would tell you this Sony KV36 FV300 with component games looks like ass, they are from another planet. They don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. Yeah. I'm telling you, this thing, the colors pop. It's so dialed in. You put in Mario Kart Double Dash on this, and you tell me it looks poor.
It's crystal.
It doesn't. One thing we didn't cover yet on this side of the room, we kept our Xbox One. It was the Project Scorpio version. Yes. That is our 4K movie machine.
Which is
it doesn't get a lot of playtime out of us anymore.
No, because we got the Series now.
Yeah, but eventually we'll have the Series X. Maybe if you guys are seeing this footage, you're like, you guys are all about physical media. Why do you have a digital console? I got it for $180.
That's awesome.
And I don't want to spend $500 on a modern console because I just went to a game convention and spent about $550 on Sega CD shit, which I would much rather do than have a PS5. But for $180, that was a pretty good.
And that's how we can play Prison City and like the new games, but you don't have much on.
Yeah, I don't have hardly anything on it. Just a couple games. Yeah. I got Madden and the WWE 2K game, and whatever. That's about I think RoboCop and
RoboCop
because that was only on modern consoles. Eventually, I will have a Series X or a PS5, and then I'll be able to play 4K movies on those. But don't bust my balls on that because you would have bought it too at that price.
Dude, that price is wild for a modern console.
For sure. And it's just a stopgap because I don't think there's enough out there to get those. But
I just love this game room. I just love how we set it up. It takes a while, but it's worth it. Mm-hmm. And I think anybody could figure it out and do this. If you're thinking about building a game room, or you are a retro gamer and you're like, man, I'm sick and tired of setting up, plugging in my console every time, get a split box, do this, and then luckily if you're just a gamer, you don't have to worry about splitting the signal for an out.
Yeah.
That's what makes it even more tricky, is the out for screen cap or live streaming. So if you're just playing, get a one splitter box, you're set up, you're good to go, and then you never have to touch it again.
Yeah, and like, as far as the shelves, I'm just trying to think of questions the types of questions we get in the comment section. Guys, we just have literally the shelves that our consoles are on, and they're bearing weight.
Yeah.
They are just the cheapest Walmart shelves you can get, and then we took a drill with a circular, what is that, like an auger bit or whatever?
A hole saw?
Yeah, hole saw, yep. Popped the holes, and then we were like, oh, those holes kind of look a little goofy. So we threw a purple LED strip back there, and it looks badass because now all of our consoles have a purple glow.
Purple glow, yeah, because we love purple. And that's it, dude. Let us know in the comments below if there's something that we didn't talk about, and we'll let you know. We'll respond and let you know. But I think we covered mostly everything.
Yeah.
I mean, everything else in the game room doesn't really need power. It's just posters.
Yeah.
But we covered all that stuff in our game room tour.
And we'll do the best that we can to drop links below and specify what each one is for, just in case maybe you have some of the stuff and you're like, shit, I could really use something like that. They aren't affiliate links. We're getting no kickback. Nope. This is just raw dog.
And this is just
stuff that we have found that works.
We just found it work. But obviously there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, which is disgusting, because why would you do that? But there are. So you could, maybe this inspires you, but you do more research and you realize, oh, this box works better for my use. Or I found a different power strip that works better for me. That's perfectly fine. Maybe this is just a launching point for you. But this is just what we do.
Maybe you go spend $750 on a retro tank. 4K or whatever the new one is.
Don't do that.
I mean, you can.
You can.
Anybody can.
Don't do that.
I bet you can buy all the shit we have. What do you say? I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. Under $200 probably. For all the switch boxes, the HDMI convert. Yeah.
Obviously, you got to have the consoles and everything. But dude, for all the power strips and everything, super easy. And then it looks beautiful. Yeah. And also, real quick, we're gonna get it controversial, but real quick, you have room for a CRT, okay?
Yeah.
You do. I know you do. Get a small one. You don't need to get a 36-inch. Get a small one. Put it in the corner. No. It makes the retro consoles, dude, look amazing. I'm playing my PS2 right now at home through RF, which I didn't even know you could do. But I am, and it looks amazing on a small TV, on a tube TV. It's beautiful.
We were at a buddy's house over the weekend, and he set up a small, it was like an old desk, almost looked like a school desk. But he put like a 13 or 20-inch tube on there, and had one of the SmackDown games on PS2 just kind of looping when we got over there. It looked so good.
Yeah.
And it made me, at that moment, it's like, anybody can have room for that. I totally get it.
What we have is a lot.
Yeah, moving this, and we use this for the channel. I can't, if you got room and you got somebody with a strong back and want a 36-inch Sony Trinitron, it is the coupe de top. Yeah. Moving it sucks balls.
No, and I thought when we were moving it down here, I was gonna fucking shatter my hands.
we do LAN parties and stuff, and we've got a couple 20-inchers that have handles on them, and no joke, we'll each carry 2 of them at a time.
It's not that hard.
It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah,
but we got to talk about this beer before we end the episode.
It's a gift from our good old friend, Kyle, my favorite Martin.
My favorite Martian.
Yeah.
This is the Magic Marshmallows by a brewery called ElevenThree, which is, I think, a smaller brewery from Ohio. I'm pretty sure that's where he's from. This is a New England-style IPA with mini marshmallows. And this bad boy comes in at 7.7%. What do you think of this bad boy?
I love it. It's a Friday. It's after work.
Yep.
This was the first after work beer. So that's always... That always inflates it maybe a little bit. But, no, I think it's really good. I wouldn't be scared away if you're someone that doesn't like, sweet stuff added to their beer. I think it's very subtle. I catch it a little bit on the back. Yeah. It is a little bit of a sweeter finish, but very ever so slightly. This is just a really good New England style IPA.
It's a really good, straightforward IPA with a little bit of sweetness.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to just hand this to me and be like, it's an IPA, I don't know if I would guess that, there's marshmallows in this. Mm-hmm. But it's still really good, and it's such a good IPA, and it's a smooth IPA. It kind of is pushing the
hazy.
Yeah, kind of hazy or a double.
Okay.
Because it's not hoppy.
Yeah.
It's not aggressive.
Very smooth.
Because normal IPAs, usually have that, and double and hazies are smooth. Mm. This is a very cloudy beer, very easy drinker, and it's a beautiful day. So I gotta say it. This would be great on a hot summer day. It would be.
And look how good it looks inside this Got G Brew Crew 2023 exclusive Patreon glass that you could only get back in 2023, but there will be a new design in 2024. Hopeless plug to get your ass over there and join Patreon and see all the crazy things that are going on.
Is that the first time we've ever plugged Patreon?
Yeah, but I figured what the hell. Just because I was looking at the glass and was
the
like,
glass is beautiful.
Let's just roll with it. But thanks for the beer, Kyle. It's rocking. Very good. I think, is the other beer he gave us from the same brewery?
Yeah, it's the same brewery, but it's a different one. So
I'm excited to see what they're all about.
Yeah, this is really good. And retro gaming is also really freaking good. I know I already said it once and probably twice and probably 3 times, but I just love how I can walk in here and be like, oh, Wii, PS1, Dreamcast, Xbox One. Literally hit 3 buttons and you're playing?
Yeah.
That, for any console, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's how like a game room should be set up, dude. That's fantastic. You just gotta go flip, 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 boom.
That's definitely, it's obviously this is a new space, but the tech setup's very similar to what we had before.
It was very similar.
And there's never a time when I come down here and game and I don't just have a moment where I'm like, damn, this is rad.
Yeah,
if I could have went and told my 8-year-old self that I'd be doing this at 37, I would have been like, you're going to be a pretty freaking happy fella.
You're going to be a cool guy. Yeah. But that's our tech setup.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And like I said earlier, let us know in the comments if we missed anything or if you have any other questions about the game room.
Yeah.
Because we did the game room tour and then the tech side. Just let us know. Yeah, or anything, really.
Just pepper us with questions. We love it. And we'll get back to you. I'm guessing this video is going to do a lot worse than the game room tour did because maybe people don't like the tech stuff. Who knows? Maybe this will push us into being a tech channel.
We become tankers.
That'll never work.
We become tankers. Yeah, right.
No, we got too many games to play, and that's our bottom line. We appreciate you tuning in and subscribing to the channel, to the one and only Gaming Off the Grid. Oh, hell yeah.